So we're going to start standing up in the air. So if you are on the ground, go ahead and get up on your feet. We're going to start bringing those hands up, reaching for that ceiling. And as we come down, we're going to think about kind of rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down to a nice big standing curl. And keep sinking down, reaching for the ground. We're going to get as far as we can. If you can reach those toes, great. If you're on those shins or those ankles, that's fine too. So I want you to think about letting those arms hang, letting that head hang. It's the only time we're going to allow you to let that head hang low. So you should feel that in the hamstrings, maybe in those hips, in that low back. Then we're just going to reverse that nice and slowly, ease your way back up. A very slow roll, and we'll bring those hands back up, reaching for the ceiling. Big, tall reach, and one more time, swinging around and rolling yourself down. Hopefully you can roll down a little bit deeper into that this time. Maybe a couple inches, but same idea. Just letting that upper half of your body just hang low. Try to just release the tension in those hips, those hamstrings that are holding you, pulling you upright. Just gonna let that all melt away. Then we're gonna roll that back up. Nice and slow. And we're gonna go one more time here. Big reach up, really extend through those arms. And swing it back down and roll it on down. I like to close my eyes here, help relax through those body parts, through those tight muscle groups. Feel your top half kind of melting into the ground. Hopefully feeling a little bit more flexible, a little less tension through those hamstrings. Just look at how much closer to the ground you are now. That's pretty cool. And roll it on back up. All right. Feel good? We'll let that blood come out of your head for a second. We're going to drop it down to the ground. We're going to do some pigeon stretches. We're going to do some double pigeon start. So you're going to bring one leg on top of the other if you manage. If you can't, just out in front is totally fine there. So stack that one foot on top, and we're just going to reach that chest out in front. So opposite, so we just kind of roll down. This time I want you to reach that chest out forward. If it helps to crawl those hands out, should feel that whatever leg's on top, the glute of that leg should get the majority of this one. Go ahead and take this up a notch by reaching to the side. Get a little bit deeper into that glute, through that low back even. So I'll hold here for a little bit. Again, once you try to relax, I know you hear us say that all the time, but really take mental focus in letting that tension dissipate. Let's bring that back to center. So you can crawl out a little bit more, just an inch. And walk those hands to the opposite side. And just slow holds here. As you're starting to loosen up, right, progress that stretch a little bit further. And let's bring that back to center. We'll take a last couple second hold here. And we'll roll it back up. All right, let's go ahead and switch those feet. Other foot on top. Same deal. We're going to lock those hands out. Maybe can't quite get as far on this side, that's fine. So we're hang here, get a little bit loose. And do your best to find a comfortable position. Nothing should hurt, nothing should be painful, but maybe you feel a little bit of uncomfortableness. Should be bearable. If you need to, try to pull back a little bit. Don't want to progress too fast through here. We'll go ahead and take those hands to the side, whichever side you'd like. We'll do both. So yeah, at this point, that should be starting to loosen up a little bit. Maybe slide into it a little bit deeper. Now let's bring that back to center. Now maybe you can take an extra inch or two, walk out. And we'll go ahead and walk those hands to the other side. And back to center one last time. Trying to get a big reach here. Now let's walk it back in. Alright, we're going to double up on these pigeons. We're going to go into some reclining pigeons. So you can lay on your back here and cross 1 foot over. You're going to reach your hand through the hole of the figure 4 you just created. Grab around your knee or the back of your leg, whichever you would like. And we're just going to pull that in nice and gently. A little bit more single leg focused. The more you crank that knee in towards your chest, the more we're going to get a deeper stretch on that glute. So again, I don't want you to pull too hard where it's painful, where you can't hold it. I want you to think about more kind of easing deeper and deeper into that stretch as you loosen that muscle. So we'll be here about another 10 seconds. And go ahead and slowly release out of that. We'll switch legs, same deal on the other side. Reach up and pull through. I always like doing these single sides because you really get an idea of how loose you were on the other side at the end of that stretch. Now going into the beginning of the other side, you're like, wow, this is a lot less range of motion. But don't worry, we'll get there. We're going to hold here for a little while. Let that same ease of tension happen on this side. And we'll go ahead and release up out of there. So we're going to get to kind of a half kneeling position. We're going to have one leg extended. Alright, so as if you were tall kneeling here, just getting one leg out to the side, nice and fully extended. We're going to plant one hand down here. This other hand we're going to reach up over top, a nice little triangle position here. So what we're looking to do is create length from fingertips to toes. Alright, so it should be a nice good lat stretch through this side, which often gets forgotten. So I want you to really extend. Try not to do a whole bend here. I want you to focus a little bit more on just a length. Alright, trying to get those fingertips as far away from the tips of the toes as humanly possible. You should feel a nice good stretch through that lat. A little active there in the shoulders, yeah. We're getting you ready for some full body blasts coming up next. So hopefully this helps you out. I'm going to hold here for another handful of seconds. And go ahead and slowly pull back out of that. We'll switch sides, getting that other knee down, other leg extended, and then we will reach up over top, all the way through that side. That down hand placement, just find somewhere comfortable for it. Maybe it's a little farther out, maybe it's a little closer in. Either way, we're just focused on this top side all the way up. Creating length from those toes to those fingertips. Don't stop reaching. All right, if you're giving me one of these, you can go farther. All right, extend that arm, extend that elbow. A little muscle activation in those arms. Creating that length all the way through. And we'll go ahead and relax there. All right, this next one is we'll call it dog complex. We're going to start down on all fours. We're going to tuck those toes under, lift those hips into our down dog. So push those heels down, push that chest towards those toes. Hamstring should be quite a bit looser. We're going to bend those knees, drop those hips down, reach those hands forward as we reach that chest down. This is our puppy dog stretch. So getting some nice length through that back. Then we're just going to pull ourselves forward, drop those hips to the ground, and bring ourselves into that up dog. Down dog, puppy dog, up dog, dog complex. Alright, we'll go ahead and push back into all fours. Sit that back up. We're going to go 2 more times through this. Into that down dog. Closer those hands are to those feet. Right? Bit deeper that stretch you're going to get. And we'll go ahead and drop that down. Reach those hands out. So it should be active, really pushing those, pushing your chest into the ground, but still keeping those hips up high. And we'll pull forward into that up dog. So you can keep those hips on the ground if you like, or prop yourself up for just a touch extra. Either way for you. But big proud chest here, pushing that top of your head to the ceiling. And then pulling back down. We're going to do it one more time. Then up in that down dog. So don't forget about the shoulders here. I know we get very focused on our hamstrings in this down dog, but remember those shoulders, the more that chest comes through, that head comes through those arms, more mobility through those shoulders. Go ahead and bend those knees, drop those down, get those hips up high. So reach our head to the ceiling as well. And pulling ourselves forward for our last little bit of up dog. If we want to, you can add a little bit of rotation here for this last one. And we'll go ahead and relax. The last one here in our final minute, we're going to do some bridges with a reach. So a little bit more of that kind of full body lengthening. We're going to get down on our back with our feet flat on the floor. We're going to bridge up those hips. And we're going to take one hand, we're going to reach diagonally across and hold for about a second. And then we're going to come back down, let those hips come back down. And opposite side, reach over. Really getting you prepped. Alright, we stretch out those glutes. Now we can see what they're going to do here. Big reach across. And if you want to hold a little bit longer, you can. We're going to go one more each side. Big across. Create that length. Last one across. And relax. Alrighty folks, that's all I have for you. We'll be back with some full body blast in just a minute, so don't you go anywhere.